that's not necessarily true anymore. We're entering an age where we can stop him with a press of a button from 1,000 miles away. Because whether he knew it or not, as soon as he decided to use his cell phone, he stepped into the realm of cyber. A well-crafted cyber attack could break into his phone, disable the overvoltage protections on his battery, drastically overload the circuit, cause the battery to overheat and explode. No more phone, no more detonator, maybe no more terrorist, all with the press of a button from 1,000 miles away. So how does this work? It all comes...
When I heard this story where pagers were blowing up in the Middle East, and I don't mean by notifications, I mean they were actually exploding, I had thought about two stories I had covered on this channel. One of those stories being these alerts that have been sent to all of our phones. Another story being this CrowdStrike causing this global outage when it comes to Windows computers and other Windows applications.
Hey, Shalom, Shalom. This is your brother, Qadar of GMS Gulf Coast. And I'd like to start by giving infinite honor, praise, and glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors are given up to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, as well as the elders, the bishops of Great Millstone. And Shalom also goes out to the heads of camps of Great Millstone and Great Millstone by and large. And last but not least, a Shalom goes out to the hopeful elect, the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, that innumerable number which consists of men, women, and children in that order, will come back to the obedience of the scriptures as well as calling on the name Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, to you all, Shalom. And this is just a follow-up on the video that I did about what's in your pocket. Again, as you listen to this video, you'll see that they even, let's see where it says right here, our mobile devices can remotely detonate, can be remotely detonated. See? Again, going back to something that I've been saying here for the past 6-8 weeks. Your enemy will spare no expenses at bringing the demise of you. And when you have become as lax and as complacent as you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans have, any and everything that you deal with as dealing with your enemy, as the Lord has said in Deuteronomy 28th chapter, since you didn't want to serve the Lord with joyfulness and gladness of heart, you would have to go to your enemies for all things, for the want of all things. And that in itself is a catch-22. That's and I'm not, so like if I'm using that phrase wrong, a catch-22. But that right there in itself is a snare, it's a trap. The fact that you have to go to them, and they knowing that you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, the true Israelites of the scriptures, of the biblical scriptures, of the biblical lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They know who you are, therefore you are always an enemy. But you have been removed from your, knowing who you are, pursuant to Jeremiah. Let me grab this real quick. You've fallen into a trap, a well-devised trap, because you're ignorant of who you are. I think it's 17. Let's see. This is Jeremiah 17:4, just bagging up that point that I'm making, that you have been far removed from the memory of who you are. You can go to movies like Roots, or rather TV series back in the 70s, the late 70s, early 80s, Roots. I can't think of the actor's name, the guy that used to play on Reading Rainbow. Anyway, his true nationality was played out, in that sitcom where he was calling himself Kunta Kinte, and the overseer, the so-called white man, slave master, was beating it out of him. Your name is Tobit now. You know what I'm talking about? And that was scriptural. This is Jeremiah 17:4, and it reads, "And thou, even thyself," talking about Jeremiah, "shall Discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in a land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. Now that forever just going into a very long time, a period of time. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, verse 5. Cursed be the man that trusteth in man and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord Yahweh. So since we're cursed because we believe in the for the most part, at least 2/3 of our people believe in democracy. They believe in voters' right and voter suppression, and they believe in democracy. They believe in the 401k. They believe in what it is. All the different programs or the little groups and initiatives that the state has created to so-called, quote-unquote, help the American citizen. What I'm saying? They believe in unemployment. They believe in Social Security. You trust in these things, man, but mind you, all these things are set up by way of your enemy. The scripture says right here in Jeremiah 17:5, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, cursed be the man that trusteth in man. You cursed because you believe this man. You understand? You understand? That's a cursed mentality. That's why the scripture also says in Second Ezra, the 15th chapter. And I'm roughly paraphrasing. He says, "My people are led like a sheep to the slaughter." Why? Because your enemy sits above you. Your enemy make policy for you. Your enemy says where you can go to school, whether you can get a loan. Your enemy sells you the bottled water. Your enemy has taken over the forming aspect of all that you eat and take in, and went in his labs and changed everything. To my, you're cursed because now you have all these different ailments, cancer and thyroids and high blood pressure, diabetes, so forth and so on. You know what I'm talking about? So, not veering too far off from to the subject matter of the video, just lambacking off of what's in your pocket, and I want you to hear what he has to say real quick. Let me go back to the video, Slocky.
Now, it used to be the only way we had to stop this.
I want you to hear what this guy who made this video, I want you to hear what he has to say. To think that this is just limited to the Middle East and whatnot, the things that you would tell yourself to bring yourself at ease with your situation, or to bring yourself to the point where you don't be stressed out about these things, to my these different covert actions that are being played out on different sects of other groups of people halfway around the world. You would tell yourself, well, that's over there, that's not here, what I'm talking about. So you feel at ease, you can sigh a sigh of relief. But that's where the complacency comes in at. That's where the desensitivity of what's actually happening, or what's actually being perpetrated, the disconnect from what you're seeing and the things that you have personally went through, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. You far remove yourselves from your past history and your recent history and your present history, as though these things cannot happen to you, and you tell yourselves this too, and that in itself, your neglect has become their ally, has become your enemy's ally. Your neglect of accepting your faith, your circumstances, you know, about who you are overall, that neglect has become the ally to your enemy. Your complacency has become the ally to your enemy. The fact that you see these things happening and can't see yourself, these things being perpetrated on you, is a detriment, is a testament to your disconnect of reality. So let's let this man say what he got to say real quick.
Was with a hail of bullets in a car chase, but that's not necessarily true anymore. We're entering an age where we can stop him with a press of a button from 1,000 miles away. Because whether he knew it or not, as soon as he decided to use his cell phone, he stepped into the realm of cyber.
I want to say this real quick. These cell phones, if you know nowadays, you can't take the batteries off. And now ask yourself, why is that? You can't take the batteries off. I remember cell phones about a decade back, you can take the batteries off, and if the battery go bad, you can go get you another battery. These cell phones, these batteries don't even come off. See, these type of things right here, these are sleight of hand, you know, to my things that have been gradually given to you, and these toys are going to be your death tools, you know, I'm talking about these cell phones, these iPads, whatever the devices that you stay attached to from sun up to sundown. These things are going to be used against you, and mind you, the subtle changes that they've made with the devices, they go undetected by you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, especially you blacks. They go undetected. You can't change the battery.
A well-crafted cyber attack could break into his phone, disable the overvoltage protections on his battery, drastically overload the circuit, cause the battery to overheat and explode. No more phone, no more detonator, maybe no more terrorist, all with the press of a button from 1,000 miles away. So how does this work? It all comes...
When I heard this story where pagers were blowing up in the Middle East, and I don't mean by notifications, I mean they were actually exploding, I had thought about two stories I had covered on this channel. One of those stories being these alerts that had been sent to all of our phones. Another story being this CrowdStrike causing this global outage when it comes to Windows computers and other Windows applications. Hearing this story where these pagers are blowing up in Lebanon really makes me wonder what exactly was placed inside of our devices. Because I had thought originally when this story broke out,
What has really been placed inside our devices? You ever ponder that? Why you can't change out your batteries like you used to? I mean, that's just a thought. That's just a question to ask. You know? These phones, and it's been that way for over a period of 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. That we, by and large, don't even think of that. You feel what I'm saying? You know, we got recent history to the majority of you so-called Americans. If it ain't 5 minutes ago, you really don't remember it.
that a device was placed inside these pagers, and once it hit a certain date and time, this device caused these pagers to all explode at once. This had made the most sense to me because there are always explosions taking place in the Middle East. People are always coming up with different ways to place explosive devices into certain objects to cause them to explode. But I was surprised to learn that that was not the case at all. What is being reported is that these pagers were hacked with a certain malware. This malware caused these pagers to increase in temperature. They started to get hotter and hotter until they finally exploded. Now, pardon my French.
Malware. And these devices do overheat. And mind you, again, you can't replace the battery. So it's just going to sit there. Anyway.
Excuse my foul language, but you would have to be a real Brussels sprout to believe that something like this could only happen in Lebanon with pagers.
You have to be a moron to believe that you convince yourself. See, that's the disconnect. And And they betting on that, you understand? They're betting on your disconnect, you know. Majority of you jakes, you know what I'm saying, you tap the phone, man, you run back down to Walmart or wherever you buy it from, wherever carrier you buy your phone from, and you get a new plan, a $1,300 phone and a plan to go with it, and you know, just it's madness, man. It's utter madness. The trillions of dollars that these people make off of these devices that they keep track of you with, you know what I'm talking about? And now they've turned into miniature detonating devices, man. You know, just call it what it is. And the overall disconnect of the public by and large, you know, it's mind blowing to see these things happening around the world, you know what I'm talking about, and then to think that this is, like the man said, you got to be a damn Brussels sprout to think that this is only unique to the Middle East. That shows you how small-minded the majority of you people are, you so-called Americans. Specifically, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans that are always pulling out your phone when something going down. You're pulling your phone out like it's a damn mini movie or something. World star hip hop and all that madness. You understand? You jakes are a joke, man, and these people see you as such. And you know how I could sit here and fix my mouth to say that, because those who are in the truth see you as a joke. So you don't think the nation see you as a joke? These other people.
Is that these pagers were hacked with a certain malware. This malware caused these pagers to increase in temperature. They started to get hotter and hotter until they finally exploded. Now, pardon my French, excuse my foul language, but you would have to be a real Brussels sprout to believe that something like this could only happen in Lebanon with pagers, or in the Middle East. You may be saying, thankfully, I don't live in Lebanon or one of those Middle Eastern countries where something like this could happen.
And this is the very dribble foolishness that you tell yourselves to convince yourselves otherwise, that these type of atrocities can't happen to you. You're safe in Mississippi. You're safe in Louisiana. You're safe in Texas, Tennessee, Alabama, Florida. You get the picture. You're safe, because I'm 5-6 time zones away from that. But then your government been telling you how these other countries can hack the Pentagon. The Pentagon now. They can hack NORAD. You see what I'm saying? So what keeps you safe, you peons walking around here with a $1,000 iPhone in your pocket? What's keeping you, you got some type of shield around you? This can't happen to you? When the United States government say that other governments are hacking their military headquarters and stuff. You see how simple you are, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans? These are the things that you tell yourselves because you're just that disconnected from what's really happening. Anyway, I'm going to stop jumping in. I'm going to let it play.
I don't live in Lebanon or one of those Middle Eastern to cause them to explode. But I was surprised to learn that that was not the case at all. What is being reported is that these pagers were hacked with a certain malware. This malware caused these pagers to increase in temperature. They started to get hotter and hotter until they finally exploded. Now, pardon my French, excuse my foul language, but you would have to be a real Brussels sprout to believe that something like this could only happen in Lebanon with pagers, or in the Middle East. You may be saying, thankfully, I don't live in Lebanon or one of those Middle Eastern countries where something like this could happen, but everything you have can be hacked, even right down to your TV. 99% of the cars you see on the road today are easily hackable through Bluetooth and other means. The 1% are still driving old school muscle cars. This is why you see NASA has a field of old school muscle cars. What was NASA's official response as to why they have these old school cars? Their response was they were studying the aging process, that they need cars that go back to the 1980s so they can study the age.
And when they put out foolish reports like this, just something simple, we just got all these old schools just to study the aging process on the old school car. Okay, that makes plenty of sense. Yes, yeah. Okay. Could you pass me some cotton candy now? You see what I'm saying? That's what you people are, man. To these people, can tell you anything. Just tell them anything, Just throw you off the trail, To my. But the point being, you was never on that trail, To my that. Oh man. Anyway, let's let it play.
Process. Now, who out there really believes that explanation? So before we get back to this story, I just want to mention that anything that can get malware will get malware. Anything that can get hacked will be hacked. But going back to the story here, I am reading from the AP. I do believe they have the most updated article from the time that I'm making this video. They updated this article about 20 minutes ago. The title of this article happens to be Hezbollah hit by a wave of exploding pagers and blames Israel. At least 9 have passed away and thousands injured. Pagers used by hundreds of members of the militant group Hezbollah exploded near simultaneously in Lebanon and Syria on Tuesday, ending the lives of at least 9 people, including an 8-year-old girl, and wounding several thousand, officials said. Hezbollah and the Lebanese government blame Israel for what appeared to be a sophisticated remote attack. Now, again, they can go back and forth blaming whoever, but when I hear that malware is being placed in devices and causing them to heat up and explode, this reminds me of CrowdStrike. And who owns CrowdStrike? Who developed CrowdStrike? The World Economic Forum. Because...
Bam. Bam. See how it goes, all roads lead back to the kings of the planet, man. Let's grab that real quick. The ones who are sovereign. Let's get it real quick. The true people who are sovereign from justice. They're not going to be escorted out and made a mockery on the news, on the world stage, like a P. Diddy, or like a Donald Trump, or like a Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, or like the Clintons. You feel what I'm saying? Not them. See, they could be held to a certain level of justice, at least in the public court. You feel what I'm saying? But there's men, there are people that are totally immune from justice, and they were given that justice, they were given that immunity by the Lord. We're gonna grab it. Now you heard the man saying, the WEF, who is connected to the IMF. Who's connected to the FRB. You follow what I'm saying? I'm using these synonyms or these because I don't want to say these words, to my, but when he ratcheted down, his research brings the malware back to the kings of the planet. Not no glitch in the system. It goes back to a malware in which the kings of the earth are funded. They're responsible for it, but at the same time, these people are not being drug out and are being scrutinized in the court of public opinion, like a Clinton. They've had their skirmishes, talking about disasters down in Haiti and taking children illegally and drug hustling and all that. They've had their images scarred, admired. They haven't been brought to justice. Now, don't get me wrong, but they've been courted out and made known their treachery in the court of public opinion. But not these kings of the planet. They'll tell you, what his name, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world. No, he ain't. The richest man in the world you ain't gonna see him. These are the people. These are the people who are behind these pages and whatnot. You understand? These devices, they ain't got batteries no more. This is a part of a overall plan. You follow what I'm saying? That the majority of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are oblivious to what's actually going on, Anyway, this is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6:1, and it reads here, therefore, O ye kings, and understand, learn, ye that be judges of the ends of the earth. Listen to this. Verse 2, it says, give ear, ye that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations. Verse 3, it says, for power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the Most High. Let's read that again. Wisdom of Solomon 6:3. For power is given you of the Lord, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, and sovereignty from the highest, the Most High, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. Sovereignty. Let's get that word sovereignty real quick. Okay, let's get the word sovereignty. Define sovereignty. Because see, unbeknownst to you, these guys walking around here with these Moorish fizzes and talking about they Moorish and all that, talking about they got sovereignty of the laws. No, they don't. The only ones that have sovereignty is who the Lord gives sovereignty of being prosecuted. These people cannot be prosecuted by men, the kings of the planet who rule over the nations. You know what I'm talking about? From the ends of the earth. They're not being escorted out there and made mockery of in the court of public opinion. These are the people who behind these things that you see, you know. Anyway, this is let's get it, sovereignty. It says supreme authority or a dominant power. It can be defined as the right to self-govern. These people have the right to self-govern themselves. That's why you don't see the elitist of the elite, the international banksters. You understand? The people who fund governments and these what they call the shadow governments. You know what I'm talking about? These people self-govern themselves. They're not prone to extortion, or not extortion, but laws that the 60 million laws that the United States have on the books. They're not prone to that. They don't fall under that jurisdiction. You understand? They don't fall under any jurisdiction. You understand? They hold the purse strings to the planet. Sovereignty has been given to them. The right to, where it says right here, the right to self-govern has been given to them from the Most High by way of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. See what I'm saying? That's why you don't see these people skirted and courted out in front of everybody. You know what I'm talking about? They're more like a boogeyman story or something. You know what I'm talking about? So when they tell you somebody like Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, that's for you simpletons that can be told anything. That's what that's for. Because you actually believe that, because he bought Twitter and turned it to X. Anyway, it says the right to self-govern, a nation or a group of people, right to be self-governing. See that? It says a group of people. It says a nation or group of people. So in this case, we're talking about a group of people. You understand? Right to self-govern. It says right here, the exercise of power in international law. Sovereignty is the power of a state. Sovereignty. It says supreme power or authority. They've been given supreme power and authority. As it says in Job 9:24, roughly paraphrasing, the earth is given. They ain't take nothing. It was given. They ain't take nothing. These walls and things that you see that where this kingdom fell, this, that, and the third, that was just the world stage for things to play out so that peons can make sense of what, of how these people got this and got that. Because it also says in the Apocrypha, roughly paraphrasing, through unrighteous dealings and bloodshed, roughly paraphrasing, the kingdom was passed to different hands. I know I chopped it up, but so it's given. It's given. And it has to be done in such a way that the people of the world can make sense of it. You understand? But only the men of the Lord is going to truly understand that the Lord was the reason why these people are set up above everyone. The men of the Lord and the men, women, and children that come back to this obedience and understanding of the Lord, to put that trust and faith in the Lord, belief in the Lord, they truly understand why things are where they are. They understand when they hear these things, these explanations of why cell phones and pages, or well, not necessarily cell phones just yet, but pages and walkie-talkies are exploding and whatnot. They're not just chalking it up to a hacking group out of China, because it's bigger than that. It goes back to the people who actually fund the research. You understand? Who fund that government. You know what I'm talking about? This is where that goes. Now let's go back real quick. So, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6 and 3, it says, "For power is given to you of the Lord," talking about the kings, where we read up here, "O ye kings, understand and learn, ye that be judges of the ends of the earth, give ear, ye that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations." See? "For power is given you of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and sovereignty from the Most High, Yahweh, who shall try your works and search out your counsels." It reads, verse 4, "Because being ministers of his kingdom, ye have not judged aright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai." Yeah. The Lord is going to deal with them too. Yeah, going to deal with them. This is not going to go unchecked and unpunished. No, sir, Bob, it's not. This is Job 5 and, let's see. This is Job 9, 5 and 12, and it says, "He disappoint the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong." So the Lord is going to deal with all this, man. But in the meantime, in between time, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans need to really wake up to what's really actually happening, man, and stop taking any little old explanation to be the case. Oh, NASA just got a feel of old school cars just to see how they age and whatnot. That don't even make sense. But to a simpleton, it does. You know what I'm talking about? It really does. It really does. Let's go real quick. This is Proverbs 1 and this is Proverbs 1 and 22. It says, "How long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity, and the scorner delight in their scorning, and the fool hate knowledge?" You know, for eternity, man, until they ultimately just be destroyed. 2/3 of our people, that's just their lot. You actually believe that these people have got old school cars, you know what I'm talking about? They invested millions upon millions of dollars just to look at cars sit there and rust. you got to be simple, man. You got to be, This is Proverbs 4 and let's see where it's at. This is Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 16, and it reads, "For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fail. For they eat the bread of wickedness, and drink the wine of violence. But the path of the just is as a shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day." And as the men of the Lord go out here sincerely and do what is required of them, to be servants, to be true servants of the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that light shines more and more in the darkness that is enveloped the whole planet, man. Until that perfect day. Because in the end, the Lord said, in the end, you should know who his prophets are. You should know who his chosen ones are. You're going to find out in the end. But Jake just simple as hell, man. And I just want to make a follow-up on this video. What's in your pocket? Point being that you can't be so simple and docile and complacent to think that what you're seeing overseas cannot and will not be happening to you sooner than later. Lord willing, it was edifying. I'm going to close out by giving infinite honor, praise, and glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, double honor to Apostle Elders, Great Millstone, with that Shalom.